Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. We're going to get started here in just a second. I want to get some people in here this morning and get this shared out just a little bit. And we're getting that done right now. Good morning. Come on in. I see Leanne. She's already in here. Good morning, Leanne. Who else is out there? Come on in. Come on in. Randy Davis, I see you're in here. I saw your like already. Come on in, guys. We're going to get started here in just a second. This is going to be an interesting show today. I think you're going to enjoy this. Let's see. Just a little bit more. Maybe that's it. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Connie. Glad you're here. Susan, good morning. Glad you're here. Good morning, Chain Breakers. It is Thursday, December the 19th, 2019. This is going to be another fantastic day because that's the way I choose to make my day be. Hi, I'm Brad Smith. I am your host for Chain Breakers 365 Live and the creator of hashtag Uplift and Rise. I want to welcome you here today. What I want to talk about is a lot of us sit here, we go, man, I want this in my life. I really want things to be different. I really want to change my life. And today I'm going to help you understand what it takes to get there. Good morning, Tracy. Glad you jumped in here. So we're going to talk about how do we create that different life. Hey, there's my sweetheart. Good morning, Patty. Love you, baby. Glad you jumped in here. So we're going to talk about what we do, what we need to do, what we need to change in order to make real change in our lives. Because, we're coming into the beginning of 2020 very, very quickly, right? So today is Thursday, right? We have, let's see, 7 days from today would be the 26th, a few extra days, about 11 days, 12 days, I guess, and it'll be the end of the year. We'll be at New Year's Eve. We'll be going into New Year's, and it will be the time to really kick things off and make a big difference for 2020. Leanne Ryan-Smith, I know you have said 2020 is my year. And I know there's a lot of you in here that truly, truly believe that 2020 is going to be your breakthrough year. So let's talk about today what we need to do in order to create that life for ourselves. Hey, Laura Berman, glad you're here. Jeremy George, glad you're here. So here's what we need to do. We need to start taking a look at the habits we have and the decisions we make. You see, we need to live life with intention. That's what's going to get us to where we want to be in 2020. We have to live life with absolute intention. Now, here's the issue. We end up making most of our decisions today out of habit. We make our decisions and what we're going to do and where we're going and how we live our day out of habit. Right? We get up in the morning, we start moving around, and every decision you make, you do the same thing every single morning, right? You're getting out of bed, whether you choose to go in, for guys, you're shaving, right? For women, I guess I haven't paid that much attention to what my wife does first thing. Sometimes it's go down and get a cup of coffee. Sometimes you're going to jump in the shower right away. But what you do, the order in which you do them, the things in which you do become done out of habit. Hey, cuz, glad you're in here. Bob Jones, Nat Banks, glad you're in here, legend. So here's what we're going to do. I need you to start taking a look at everything you do in order, because the way you do them is a decision. The choice you make to do things in that order is a decision every single day. You see, we also make the same decisions when we get home from work. When we decide to go in, and maybe it's go in and start cooking dinner, maybe it's I need to pick up from this morning, maybe it's this has been a long day, I'm going to sit on the couch. Whatever you choose to do, that is a decision. What you do when you get to work, those are decisions, and sometimes we do those out of habit. Maybe we say good morning to the same people. Maybe we go to get started by grabbing a cup of coffee. Whatever you do, I guarantee you do the same things in order every day until we hit that spot where now we have to start making conscious decisions. Here's the other thing. If we choose to not be highly productive because we choose to sit and wait for things to come to us, we are also making a decision, because you're making a decision not to be motivated and productive in another area. Here's the other thing I want you to understand. There are people that are born with privilege, okay? Maybe they've been born into a well-to-do family. Maybe they have been given great education. But if you choose to be successful or you choose not to be successful is a choice. You see, I have seen people who come out of the bottoms, they come out of the ghettos, they come with nothing. Their parents are in prison, they're on drugs, they're whatever, and they still choose to rise to the top. So there are others that will choose to live a life of privilege and never get anywhere and spend family's money. There are others that will choose to take what they have and build upon it. Let me tell you a little bit of my story. My family was upper middle class. We were in pretty good shape. I have a college education. My father was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. I saw what it was like. I saw what it is to create. I saw what it is to make decisions, to be responsible for a big organization, for families that worked for you. You could say I came from privilege. And at some point in my life, that rug got completely jerked out from under me. Actually more than one point in my life, was concerned about digging in the bottoms of the seats in the car, digging in the cushions of the couch to come up with enough change to buy gas to get to work. Because worried about how I was going to put food on the table, worried about whether I was going to keep a roof above my head, above my family's head. I have lived on the floor of friends' homes. And yet today, that's not the case. Today, I'm not going to say I'm back on top, but I'm certainly much, 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 much better off than I was. Hey, Jean-Paul, glad you're here, my friend. So you can choose to have that rug jerked out from under you, and you can choose to be a victim, and you can choose to live small because that's what life dealt you. Or you can choose to start making different decisions. You see, my friends, there are a lot of people that live the way I was. They're worried about living from hand to mouth. That paycheck is gone as soon as you get it, right? Because we choose to live lifestyles. Now, some cases, what the choices we make in order to live that way are because of what our paradigm is, because what the life is that we've seen, because of what we have been exposed to. The Apostle Peter had absolutely zero idea that he was capable, and he was the only other one, that he was capable of walking on water until he saw Jesus do it. He had no paradigm for the fact that he had that ability until Jesus told him to come to him. And he lost the ability when he took his eyes off of Jesus. Now, my point of bringing that up is not a religious point. It is in the fact that sometimes we don't know what we can do because we've never seen it done. We don't know what we're capable of because we've never seen others do it. Now, in a lot of cases, it's easy to sit here and say, you were born with privilege. You have it easy because you were born with privilege. The only thing different, my friends, is the fact that sometimes you are born into a family. You are born into those you surround yourself with, and who you choose to surround yourself with is a choice. Because of the decision of who you choose to surround yourself with, you are now exposed to different things. If you hang around with people that work in minimum wage jobs, your framework is that's what you're capable of. My friends, every single one of us is capable of more. What we have to do is expose ourselves to those opportunities. We have to expose ourselves into what is possible. We have to expose ourselves into what is possible for us. You see, the person that's panhandling on the corner in New York City is sitting there holding that cup out, hoping for people to give money to him. And while he's sitting there, he has Wall Street bankers, he has lawyers, he has attorneys walking by him every day. So in a lot of cases, what we have to do is see the possibilities to know that we're capable of more. So you see that in a lot of cases, what we have to know is that we are capable of infinite possibilities, and Christ will put those pieces in place if you choose to pursue them. You see, in a lot of when Moses brought the Jews out of Egypt and brought them to the promised land, he didn't just hand it to them, he gave them instruction. He gave them instruction that to take over and possess the promised land, they had to rout the 31 kings. Did they do that? No, they chose to go live the way they did. And because of that, today, Israel still to this day lives in turmoil. Sometimes what we have to do is realize that pieces have been put in place and we are exposed to them, and we need to go and fully possess the plan and the opportunity that has been given to us. We need to understand where those opportunities, where that exposure is. Living life in habit, we put on blinders and we close ourselves off to opportunity, into seeing what opportunity is in front of us. And we close ourselves off to us seeing what is possible for us in our lives. We close ourselves off to the possibility that we too can live that life. You see, my friends, in a lot of cases, it is choosing to start taking the steps to put yourself in place where you can be promoted, where you can receive that raise, where you can get to that job, where you can find those friends. A good friend of mine and I were having a conversation yesterday, and he was talking about his high school class and how there were 5 of them that have excelled far beyond what anybody else did. Of those 5, interestingly enough, were 5 close friends that hung out together in high school. Those 5 same people live very successful lives, and they do that because they chose not to think small, not to be small, not to play small, but to get out and start exposing themselves to more opportunity. Every single one of them made that conscious choice not to participate in that small-mindedness. You see, we all have the same choice. We all have much of the same exposure. What we have to do is start looking outward. We have to start looking beyond ourselves and look at sometimes people that are successful. We have to look at what they're doing. We have to look at what's possible. You see, many cases, if the apostles had not set down their things, had not left their life and chosen to follow Christ, they never would have been exposed to the many wonders of what he did in his ministry. Now, interestingly enough, Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, was not an apostle. Paul did not follow Christ. Paul was a tax collector. He persecuted Jews. But Paul got exposed to an apostle. He made the conscious choice to look at them and the life they were leading and start listening to what was possible. And with that, he chose a different life for himself. My friends, you can choose to start living a different life. You can choose to start living a different pathway. Christ puts those pieces in place for us every day. And the pieces that we choose to look at, the pieces that we choose to notice, the doors that are open that we choose to walk through, and the ones that we walk right on by because we don't even realize they're open, those are all choices. And we make those choices sometimes out of consciousness and sometimes out of habit. Take a look at your habits, my friends. Take a look at your choices. Start taking a look at what you do and the choices you make on a daily basis, because you can choose a different life. You need to start paying attention to the choice you make in the actions you take and make them with intention. My friends, thank you so much for being here. I'm going just a touch over. Thanks for being here, and we'll continue this at a much deeper level tomorrow, right here on Chainbreakers 365. We'll see you then. Thanks for being here today. Bye now.